I'm Jane Hodges. I'm the Director of the Bureau for Gender Equality in the International Labour Organisation based here at our headquarters in Geneva. It's a small unit, but we're very efficient, and it's a unit that is very proud to have both men and women serving. We have a large field presence. We have 8 senior specialists on gender, 2 in Africa, 2 covering the huge Americas region, 2 in Asia, what challenges they have, and 1 covering the Arab states and 1 covering Europe. This is really important as a gender issue, which has been recognised as cross-cutting in our decent work agenda, namely in employment, in social protection, in social dialogue, and of course rights and principles at work. There has to be that red line of gender equality. It's taken very seriously by our 183 member states, and we had a major conference in June 2009, almost exactly 2 years ago, where member states told us, work more on research, cutting-edge research, give a space to academic institutions, to partnerships throughout the world, not just the North, but also the South. So having Regulating for Decent Work here in the ILO building this very month is music for us. Our ILO being a tripartite organisation, our direct services really are to a kind of different group, say, to what UN Women might be doing. We work with the real players in the economy, representatives of labour, representatives of business, and of course ministries responsible for employment or labour. They are our privileged partners. In the area of gender, you have to be very careful not to be exclusive, but to be inclusive. So of course, partnerships with national women's machineries, ministries responsible for the status of women. Other ministries, of course, so much talk has been this very session of the Economic and Social Council of the UN, ECOSOC, meeting down the road as we meet here in the ILO building. They're looking at the big challenges to education for all. And of course, that discrimination that we see in the workplace obviously starts not only at birth for girls and boys, but as they enter primary school, what they're being taught and so forth. So we include ministries responsible for education as partners. So we do, as a bureau, work with our member states, but we also do an enormous amount of work internally. I'm happy to say when UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon makes his annual report to the General Assembly about progress of women in the system, I'm happy to say that ILO is up there in the top 10. We have a good gender policy. We have a good gender champion in our Director General, Juan Samavia. We have a good institutional structure. It's taken a while, but basically anchored around a very sophisticated network. I don't know if you've been involved in networks, Jacqueline, but I've, over my lifetime, been in many of them that last one summer or one winter and then disappear. This gender network of the ILO is a living, extremely well-supported group of committed women and men, over 140 throughout headquarters in the field. And they might be statisticians or labour lawyers or macroeconomic specialists, designers of social security systems, but they've decided to volunteer to be part of the network. And we in the Gender Bureau give them enormous support, and of course support to their directors as well. We also work enormously on training staff, upgrading gender skills, particularly new incoming members of staff with our Human Resources Department. But we also have a very interesting management and leadership course to pluck out potential women and men who are going to be the next leaders in the ILO, the next country directors, the next people making a difference in the world of work. And we have a special module for managing for gender equality developed there. So it's work with the constituents, but work inside as well. The crisis has really brought forward the importance of not letting drop the ball on gender equality. And it goes back to those 4 pillars of decent work. If you can get your recovery packages that look carefully at the jobs issue, the employment issue, so that we're not going to lose more jobs of women or force women into, which has been more the factual case, into precarious and vulnerable jobs because of the crisis. If we're going to make sure that social protection plans, particularly areas that help women remain in the labour, or part of the labour force, the unemployment benefits, not cutting care services, on the contrary, including increases in care services so that women can maintain their presence in the labour force. The minimum wage issue, which has been proven, ILO research has proven, is so important, particularly in the lower least paid workers to help eliminate the gender pay gap. So the social protection area is there. The other big policy area we work on, of course, is dialogue. It's all part of women's economic empowerment. Women have to have a voice, both in the planning of recovery packages, but also in their implementation and the tracking, to make sure that the unintended incomes that might leave women worse off than men do not come out of those packages, particularly these third-generation recovery packages. And, of course, principles and rights. That's a huge amount of our work. We work with our standards department, and a lot of the people that are with us in the conference these few days, specialists who understand what having a rights-based approach means, and having a very good institutional framework so that people not only know their rights but dare to exercise their rights and have remedies. Coming back to the sessions I was following today about enforcement, it's fascinating to see the kind of on-the-ground research that some of the university professors have been expounding on today. Women and men might know their rights. I'm thinking of some of the research coming out of Netherlands, Germany, Belgium. But it's not that they're unempowered in that sense, but the system they see is absolutely skew-whiffed against them. And they say, why do we bother? Why bother? Even if there's a legal aid service to help, shall we say, on the financial side, even if I dare to take the time off, say I've been sexually harassed at work, why would I go to a system that will only give me this narrow choice of outcomes, of results? Why go to a system if I've been suffering bullying, where I'm only going to get, case heard, case rejected? And that goes to the very heart of the whole UN systems approach, in fact, to rights at work. Getting the framework is there, ratifying the instruments is really important, it's crucial. Signing up, it's such a commitment, just as signing a private contract is in employment law at the national level. But unless people know their rights and are prepared to exercise their rights and know that the system will give them a fair go, will give them a fair hearing. So that part of our work on rights and principles is crucial, and I've learnt so much. This is what I love about opportunities. I'm really glad I can share it with you. In an international institution like the ILO, you get a huge amount of information, like so many emails, but you learn so much in meetings like this, face-to-face meetings. I'm coming out really enriched. I'm really enjoying it.